good evening and welcome to News Hour. Coming up in this edition, Vice President engages local authorities in Southeastern region on service delivery. HRMO holds induction training for over 700 civil servants drawn from various MDAs. And Ministry of Fisheries and Partners embark on African catfish breeding exercise in Bo District. All these and more lined up in this edition of News Hour. Stay with us for the next hour. My name is Daphne Zainab Kamara. News tonight. Vice President Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow has engaged councillors, district chairpersons, mayors and paramount chiefs, among others, in the southeastern region. The move is to chart the way forward in addressing the challenges the two regions face and to also get a first-hand information on governance, service delivery and security. Our correspondent in the Vice President's office, Joseph Toure, has more.
Open discussion from the mayors, from the chairman, looking at the expectations of the chiefdoms, looking at the expectations of government, so that open conversation will help me to learn that the whole essence of this meeting is not a political meeting. This meeting is for solve problems then where they face with councils them and also to improve service delivery.
This was the very reason the Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow, left the city of Pa, Freetown, to meet with local authorities in the eastern and southern regions of Sierra Leone. As the chairman of the Inter-Ministerial Council on Local Governance and Decentralization, he took the move to listen, learn and work together with them to identify practical solutions that strengthen coordination, improve service delivery and bring government closer to the people. He said strong governance is essential to building a more accountable, responsive and inclusive Sierra Leone.
About human resources at the chiefdom administration level, at the council level, and then also how government will support you. We also, they are more importantly, like I said, to talk about coordination challenges and governance. Coordination. So we chief them, they get expectations there from the council. How they want to be council. Putting them in say that the experience since the last 3 years, we don't know the work with council. How can they improve? Whose ideas they will get for improve that working relationship?
After closed-door sessions with the local authorities in both regions, they expressed optimism, noting that they have been looking forward to having such opportunity with the Vice President.
And I also thank and appreciate the government for the completion of the Bandachuma.
We thank government for the various development projects in the region. We look forward to these engagements to address challenges at the local government level.
Governance issues should not only be discussed in Freetown, but it should come to the region and then it should extend it to the district.
The first thing we really realize and also it gives us hope.
His coming has given us hope as local authorities. We need more opportunities to build the capacity of our staff. We would go to the drawing board to build on the gains made and improve on the challenges.
So now, when we come back together, we go back now to the drawing board, with successes and challenges.
Amid the accolades on government's interventions in various sectors like agriculture, infrastructure, water, they raised several concerns on timely allocations of funds, among other issues.
The road network is now a problem that most of the children have.
The road network is very challenging for us, as good roads are vital to the food security in the country. We want government to address the conflict of interest between the chiefdom councils and the districts councils on revenue generation.
When they go into that, ask back a check. We said that conflicting due to that they made a separator.
The inauguration of the Regional Coordination Committee was also crucial to cementing the relationship between the central and the local government. SLBC, Joseph Toure reporting.
As part of efforts to revamp the public service architecture, the Human Resource Management Office, HRMO, through its Directorate of Training and Career Development and the Public Service Academy, has begun a 7-week induction training program for over 700 civil servants drawn from various ministries, departments, and agencies. The training is aimed at equipping newly recruited civil servants with the knowledge and skills required to effectively perform their duties within the public service. Sori Kamara was in attendance and our reports.
The 7-week training is designed to equip newly recruited civil servants, particularly those on probation, with the knowledge, skills, and competencies required to effectively operate within the civil service. They were drawn from various cadres, including administrative officers, accountants and assistant accountants, higher executive officers and executive officers, data entry clerks, stores and inventory management assistants, and audit assistants across MDAs. The Human Resource Management Office, HRMO, observed that academic qualifications alone do not provide graduates with all the practical knowledge and competencies required to effectively operate within the civil service.
The role of the civil service is very critical in meeting the developmental aspirations of the country. And as civil servants are the technocrats who support the government of the day, implementing the policies and programs and ensure that the state machinery is always functional and delivering the much needed service to people. You should therefore consider yourselves as fortunate to have been carefully selected to a core of specialized trainers to perform the tasks of this state machinery.
Speaker after speaker, from the Secretary to the President to the Secretary to Cabinet, Director of Public Sector Reform Units, and Minister of Public Administration and Political Affairs, underscored the need to build a professional, digitally enabled, and more responsive public service. Minister Amara Kalan urged the inductees to imbibe the values of patriotism, national service, and integrity, noting that in the civil and public service, integrity matters and not connection.
For the first time in the history of this country, and even in Africa, it has been proven beyond all reasonable doubt that Sierra Leone is the only country in Africa that has created a ministry exclusively for reform of its public service. Other countries have ministry of public service, but they are not meant for reforms. They are meant to administrate their public. This is the first time we are having it in Sierra Leone. And so they are coming at a time when we are doing a holistic reform. We are rebranding, we are modernizing our public service so that it can be, at what is being practiced at the global level. So
the 740 civil servants who were deemed as extremely fortunate to have been selected for the training seemed extremely pleased as they shared their expectations.
Induction training is very important to us because firstly, it is a way of welcoming us, and also it is a training that tells us the principles, the role of a civil servant. And here, as a civil servant, we represent the government of Sierra Leone. So it's very important. The induction training is very important to teach us the code and conduct of the civil service.
When it comes to integrity, it should be part of us. Because without integrity, I don't think you will be able to serve the public. As a civil servant, integrity should be your core value, because you are there to serve the public and you should not be selfish.
The training is expected to provide participants with a clear understanding of their roles and responsibilities and help strengthen professionalism and efficiency across the civil service. Soe Kamara, SLBC News, Freetown.
The Freetown City Council has officially launched a 6-week training program for 17 newly recruited Metropolitan Police personnel as part of efforts to strengthen law enforcement, improve service delivery, and enhance the enforcement of city bylaws. The training will be conducted by the Sierra Leone Police in collaboration with the Sierra Leone Police Training Academy, SLIEA. Abdul Mansari has more.
The launch features senior police officers, including Deputy Inspector General of Police, Freetown City Mayor, City Council staffs, among others. Speaking at the launch, the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Andrew Mustafa Kamara, stated that the two institutions, SLP and FCC, have continued to support each other through training, facilities, and joint initiatives aimed at improving the management of the city. DIG Kamara added that the 6 weeks training is designed to enhance the recruits' knowledge, skills, and capacity to deliver effective services to the people of Freetown. He said their collaboration also extends to efforts to keep the city clean and enforce the Memorandum of Understanding MOU between the two institutions.
Well, it is my view that the students will not leave this place, or the recruits who have come for this training will not leave as they have come. They will leave with in-depth knowledge that will enhance their service delivery at the council.
The Freetown City Council Mayor, Yvonne Akisoya, said the recruitment represents a significant step in the council's efforts to create employment opportunities and improve the management of the capital city, stating the 70 recruits represent a 10% increase in the council's workforce and form part of the council's Transform Freetown, Transform Lives initiative, which seeks to create jobs while strengthening the enforcement of municipal bylaws.
You will not succeed without integrity. You are not here to take advantage. You are not here to break the law behind closed doors. You are not here to bully people. You are not here to run a separate money-making program because you're wearing a uniform. You are here to enforce the laws, the bylaws of Freetown City Council.
The launch marks the beginning of a 6-week capacity building program intended to prepare the new Metropolitan Police personnel for their roles in supporting municipal law enforcement and improving service delivery across Freetown. SLBC News, Abdul Mansari reporting.
Aquaculture has for decades provided food, income, and livelihood opportunities for people in Sierra Leone. But over time, challenges including limited access to quality broodstock and technical support affected the growth of the sector. Now, the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources is taking steps to revive aquaculture and make fish farming a more reliable livelihood for local farmers. One of these interventions is the induced breeding of African catfish, an exercise recently demonstrated at the Ministry's fish farming station in Bo. Stella Bangura was there and now reports.
For many Sierra Leoneans, fish is more than just a meal. It is a source of protein, income, and livelihood. But one question is, how can Sierra Leone continue to produce more fish without putting additional pressure on fish stocks in our waters? At the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources fish farming station in Bo, what may appear to be an ordinary fish pond is part of an exercise aimed at changing how catfish are produced in Sierra Leone. The ministry, in partnership with Anchor Farms, including Continental Farm from Bambama in Moyamba, is working to address a major challenge in aquaculture, which is inbreeding depression. The exercise is also designed to demonstrate to farmers that quality finger fingerlings can be produced locally through controlled breeding. Farmers from Makali House Station, Tivamia Limited, and MMC Fish Farm were among those targeted to benefit from the demonstration.
One of the main policy of the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources is to ensure that we have fingerlings available for fish farmers. So the experimental fish farms in the ministry, we have two. This is one in Bo and one in the north, in Makali, in the Tonkolili district. The objective of those farms is to serve as a center of excellence for training and demonstration for the production of fingerlings and fish feed.
The ministry, through its minister, Princess Duba, is looking at strengthening the capacity of local farmers through training and improved aquaculture practices. The idea is that government provides the enabling environment and support, while farmers use that opportunity to grow their businesses and increase production. For farmers, this could address one of the biggest challenges in aquaculture, where to get quality fish to stock their ponds. But producing fingerlings is only one part of the equation. The process, spearheaded by the Director of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Sheikh Hussein, began with the selection of mature male and female African catfish. The females are injected with a hormone to induce ovulation and allowed to go through a latency period of about 11 to 12 hours, after which experts can begin the next stage by stripping the eggs from the female to mix with sperm from the males. The sperm, then mixed with saline water before being combined with the eggs, allows the sperm to fertilize the egg before they are carefully spread across hatching trays.
After doing the splitting, we've done included the meat and mixed it well, so we're now going to do the spread.
The ministry says this particular exercise is expected to produce millions of fingerlings for local farmers, and it represents the possibility of stocking local farmers' ponds with quality fingerlings, improving survival rates, and eventually having more fish to take to the market. For the ministry, the exercise is therefore not simply a demonstration of how to breed catfish. It is part of a wider effort to strengthen the aquaculture value chain from quality broodstock and fingerling production to farmers who will eventually raise the fish for the market. The demonstration at the Bo Fish Farming Station, led by the Director of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Sheikh Hussein, brings government, private farms, and local fish producers into one process.
The plan now is to have a feed mill plant installed at Moyamba, Pambama. Yes, so that we can reduce the cost of feed.
At the Bo Fish Farming Station, those tiny eggs are being used to demonstrate something much bigger, that with the right technology, partnerships and support, Sierra Leone's farmers can produce more fish locally. It is hoped by the ministry that the fingerlings will become tomorrow's harvest, helping to create livelihoods, strengthen food production, and give aquaculture a stronger place in Sierra Leone's economy. Reporting for SLBC, Stella Bangura.
Agriculture is becoming an increasingly important pathway for entrepreneurship, employment, and food security in Sierra Leone. For Dr. Juliet Norman, it is also an opportunity to challenge perceptions about farming and demonstrate what women can achieve in agribusiness. Her poultry enterprise in the Southern Farming Empire is among beneficiaries of a World Bank-supported matching grant under the Food Systems Resilience Program. Cecilia Ali Sise joined the Ministry of Agriculture on an assessment visit to the facility.
Southern Farming Empire started its poultry operation with about 1,000 birds before expanding to 3,000 as Dr. Norman gained experience in the business. Support from FSRP is now helping the enterprise prepare for another major expansion.
Southern Farming Empire is an integrated farming institution that we are building. So transform lives through innovation, education, as well as creating a sustainable crop production.
The enterprise received about $70,000 through the FSRP matching grant scheme, with approximately half of the funding already utilized. The supporters helped the farm acquire a 22,000 capacity battery cage and construct a poultry building.
We've also been able to put up one building, so we are expecting to receive the remaining part of the money so we can complete this first building and then proceed to constructing the second building. At Southern Farming Empire, we have a very strong belief that modern day agriculture should not just be limited to profit making, or it should not be business as usual.
The growing business currently provides permanent employment for 6 people, with additional casual workers engaged when needed.
And I want 10 person we really for drugs. So the woman see me, they say, it did my fit for they put me in a street, couch me in a farm. So I try for change my life. And now, with that, I get one picking when I'm in my mama, they take care of her. But by now the money what they get now they use for take care of the picking and I help my mama and my other family relatives.
But the expansion also comes with challenges, including infrastructure, the rising cost of poultry feed, and the availability of skilled workers.
Like I said, the major challenge that we're having is the heat stress. That's one thing. If you can see, because of the climate change, we're having a lot of challenge with the birds, which has actually been affecting our productions lately. So even like I told you, initially we've been having about 6 cartons of eggs. So there are times that we have less than that because of the heat. Even though we innovated this climate smart poultry house that has a very high roof, but it's also still not helping. So what we're actually doing is changing the water supply in the pen. For about every 4 hours we have to change it just so we can manage it.
The Ministry of Agriculture says its assessment of FSRP beneficiaries is helping to track how grant investments are supporting businesses, production and employment.
So far, FSRP disbursed 50%, and what we have seen with 50%, the percentage is around 70%. What actually make me more happy is to see, for example, some of them requested to be stored, and they have went ahead to finish the store, even without the 50%. So that tells you they are determined, they have the passion, they only need a little bit of push for them really to succeed.
Dr. Norman now hopes to scale Southern Farming Empire to a 22,000 bird capacity within the next 2 years. Her journey reflects the potential of targeted investment to help local businesses grow while changing perceptions about agriculture as a career and business opportunity. SLBC News, Cecilia Alice Sise.
APC flag-bearer aspirant and leader of the DIB movement, Dr. Ibrahim Bangura, has called on President Julius Maada Bio to withhold assent to the recently passed constitutional amendment bill until the Supreme Court provides clarity on constitutional questions arising from Parliament. Dr. Bangura made the call amid continuing controversy over the parliamentary process through which the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2025 was passed, with the dispute now shifting towards the courts. The APC flag-bearer aspirant also endorsed the APC's position that further action on the amendment should be suspended until the courts have considered the issues raised. According to him, allowing the Supreme Court to give ruling on the matter before irreversible steps are taken would protect constitutional order, strengthen public confidence, and reinforce respect for the rule of law. Dr. Bangura called on the president to facilitate broad consultations and protect what he described as a sovereign will of the people. He also appealed to the APC supporters and party members to remain calm, disciplined, and united as the matter progresses. The DIB movement leader urged political party leaders Parliament and executive political parties, civil society and ordinary citizens to place the country's long-term interest above immediate political considerations. The main opposition, All People's Congress Party, has rejected and condemned what it describes as purported passage of the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2025, describing the process as a legislative heist, constitutional banditry, and legally void. The APC said it has taken the considered decision to immediately seek legal redress at the Supreme Court, challenging the ruling and demanding strict compliance with Section 108 of the Constitution. The said decision, according to the APC, is anchored in their duty to uphold the supremacy of the Constitution. Here's an excerpt of the APC's stance on the Constitution Amendment Bill 2025.
On 20th April 2026, moral guarantors mediated an agreement to form a joint technical committee of lawyers to discuss the Constitution Amendment Bill 2025 amongst others. Consensus was reached on most issues, but two core matters, that is, the 55% presidential winning threshold and the proportional representation (PR) versus first past the post, were remitted to Parliament for debate and vote. What followed on August 2026 was a blatant subversion of the Constitution and the will of the Sierra Leonean people. At the heart of this matter is a much more fundamental question, and that is, are we a nation governed by our Constitution, or can constitutional safeguards be set aside whenever they become inconvenient to those who temporarily exercise political power? For the APC, the answer is clear. The Constitution is supreme. No political party is above it. No government is above it. No speaker is above it. No parliament is above it. And certainly, the APC is not above it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Speaker of Parliament delivered an unconstitutional ruling that a constitutional amendment requires only a simple majority, directly contradicting Section 108, 2B of the 1991 Constitution. We reject and condemn the purported passage of the Constitution Amendment Bill 2025 in its entirety. It is a legislative heist, constitutional banditry, and legally void.
The All People's Congress, APC, has taken the considered decision to challenge the validity of the constitutional amendment bill recently passed by Parliament. This matter will be pursued through the appropriate judicial channels. We wish to clarify our position for this action and outline our stance throughout the process. Our decision is anchored strictly in our duty to uphold the Constitution and the supremacy of law. We have identified clear legal grounds for this challenge and have accordingly instructed our legal team to take all necessary and appropriate steps to ensure that the Constitution is respected, defended, and enforced. We are not opposing change. We are insisting that change must follow the lawful path. The judiciary is the proper and constitutional forum to determine whether the bill satisfies the requisite legal thresholds, including compliance with mandatory procedures and substantive constitutional provisions.
Well, that was the chairman, the acting national chairman of the APC, and earlier you also heard the Secretary General of the APC declaring the party's stance on the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2025. Well, you're watching News Hour Live on the SABC television in Freetown. We continue with more stories. The acting Minister of Finance, Kadiatu Ali, has said the draft Public Financial Management Bill 2026, when completed and approved by Parliament, will be the test by the existing provisions for better coordination among oversight institutions in order to preserve what she described, what has worked, address what has not worked, and provide sound fiscal foundation for the management of public finances in the future. Madam Ali was speaking at the Miata Conference Center during a consultative discussion on the revision and amendment to the Public Financial Management Act 2026. Dennis Reza has the detail.
For them to be identified, but also to clarify the legal role which they will be performing.
A consultative dialogue on the revision and amendment to Public Financial Management Act 2016 provided a platform for legal and technical experts of the ministry together with stakeholders from various MDs to make their inputs to enrich the public policy making documents.
That we have to complete this act, at least submit it to Parliament before we can meet one of those conditions for the World Bank to disburse public support to Sierra Leone this year. It's not that they are twisting us, but just that it's something that they believe can improve on how we manage our public finances.
Vote controllers, representatives from MDAs and heads of local councils suggested innovative ideas to help strengthen the proposed bill, consistent with modern trends and for promoting transparency and accountability in the management of public resources. Ideas were also tabled on the need to make clarifications and propose submissions to some of the provisions, especially in the fiduciary role of ministries, departments, and agencies supervising state-owned enterprises.
Who bears responsibility, especially for those of us small agencies that you call SOEs, when a controller acts on the instructions from a superior? Say, for example, a cabinet secretary, minister, a board member that later prove irregularity.
Normally there are delays, and we go into a lot of troubles with our partners that have sometimes bought these products, wanting to take them elsewhere, and then patients are stranded and there are a lot of stock out. So we may also need some input into the PFM, the new PFM Act, to be able to address the issues of waivers, so that we can get our products on time.
According to the acting Minister of Finance, Kadiatu Ali, since the inception of the Act some 10 years ago, there has been lots of emerging issues, hence the need to formulate a new legal framework to address sound fiscal policies, credible budgets, and prudent fiscal management and controls across public institutions.
We want the provisions of the revised Act to be tested against operational realities, institutional mandates, existing legal frameworks, implementation capacity, and the practical challenges faced by vote controllers and other PFM practitioners.
The amended documents, which will open doors for financing to the Ministry of Environment on climate financing and other cross-sectoral issues, will also aid in generating, expending, and accounting for national resources within the framework of the law. The bill will continue to go through the legal and technical processes and become gazetted before presentation to Parliament for ratification and enactment.
Well, away from the mainline news, we go over to a segment and we bring you the international news update.
This is the international news and I am Cecilia Alice Sisay. 6 people have been killed and 4 injured in Ukrainian missile strikes on Russia's Belgorod region overnight, its acting governor has said. Ukrainian officials said 2 people were killed in Russian drone strikes overnight on the Sumy region close to the border with Russia, which has been on the frequent attack. The strikes come a night after what Russia officials called the largest scale attack launched by Ukraine this year. In Ukraine, an overnight attack on the Black Sea port city of Odessa damaged a civilian vessel and injured 4 people, according to the regional head, Ole Kiper. Moscow has sought to put off foreign companies from trading with Ukraine by targeting its ports and coastline. Kyiv has stepped up drone strikes deep inside Russia during the past few weeks. Now, at least 68 people have been killed and some 5,000 displaced by the earthquake, which struck shortly at a depth of just 15 kilometers. It is the country's deadliest quake since 2022, when hundreds of people were killed in West Java. Search and rescue teams and volunteers, including medical personnel, and continuing efforts to reach communities that were cut off by quake. Medical teams are still working to determine the number of casualties, though the full scale of the disaster is still being uncovered. Indonesia is prone to earthquakes and volcanic activity, lying along the meeting point of 3 major tectonic plates. Health services across the island have similarly been forced to move outside and set up emergency tents due to damaged facilities. Away from that, security forces in Zambia have seized weapons and arrested 11 people, including senior opposition figures allegedly involved in an insurrection plot, the government has said. The leading opposition candidate in last presidential election, Brian Mudebai, was found at the scene of the raid in the capital, according to the country's top civil servant, Patrick Kangwa. Zambia's Electoral Commission briefly suspended the counting and announcement of results on Friday, citing violence against polling staff and theft of marked ballot papers. Both the European Union and the Southern African Observer missions have since expressed concern over the suspension of the vote counting. And finally, on the international news, a cholera outbreak is spreading across northern Cameroon, with more than 1,000 cases and 28 deaths reported since mid-July, according to the health authorities. At Mora District Hospital, medical staff are taking precautions as suspected and confirmed patients arrived. The center has recorded 25 cases so far, including 9 negative rapid diagnostic tests and 1 death. Community health workers are conducting door-to-door awareness campaigns, urging residents to avoid open defecation and improve hygiene and sanitation. Now, health officials are particularly concerned about the region's limited access to clean drinking water and poor sanitation, and are racing to contain the outbreak before the rainy season intensifies. And that's the end of international news on the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation in Freetown. I am Cecilia Alice Sisay. Goodbye.
From the international news updates, we bring you the entertainment update.
Hello and welcome to Entertainment News with Miss Lama Baba Touré. In this edition of Entertainment News, Miss World Sierra Leone 2026 Maria Makone and others win head chef competition at the Miss World 2026. Brims and Brillia at IPAM set to host Gen Z Fest Volume 3. And Calden Nero receives nomination for NEMA Awards 2026. Now, one of the identified talents and powers of an African woman is her strength in the kitchen, blessing people's nose with delicious aroma. And that's what Miss World Sierra Leone 2026 Maria Makone displayed at the ongoing Miss World competition, taking her beauty from the stage and now to the kitchen, representing Team 2 alongside Miss Trinidad and Tobago. Miss World Sierra Leone 2026 Maria Makone has won the inaugural inaugural Miss World Head Chef Beauty competition held on the 17th of August 2026 in Vietnam. The challenge tested contestants' cooking skills, teamwork, and creativity during the 75th anniversary event. Seeing our beauty queen shine on such a stage, the videos showing Mariama preparing the food and explaining the dishes prepared, fans are sharing the good story on their various handles. Here are the videos when she was preparing the food and also speaking.
We sliced the chicken into chewable pieces, and then I added thyme with lime. Well, I did pat dry, and then we added thyme, we added salt. I'm waiting for garlic, and it's simply coming together perfectly, just the way we want it. Naturally, I'm not really a fan of cooking, so this is actually a challenge for me, but then I love it because finally I get to know that I can actually do whatever it is that I put my mind to, and it's so cute.
Wow, that's great. I wish I could taste the meal, the dish. Oh yeah, good one, Maria Makone. And now, the Brims and Brillia social clubs at IPAM are set to hold the Volume 3 of their Gen Z Fest on the 13th of November 2026 at Family Kingdom in Freetown. They broke out the news during the unveiling ceremony of the show's banner and t-shirt with the name, date, ticket price, and location. The aim behind the show, according to the Deputy Chairman of Gen Z Fest Volume 3, Fode Adi Sise, was to solve challenges students face at IPAM. To spice up the event, the ceremony, a super talented young artist with stage name Shady Boy took the stage to entertain attendees with his song titled Club B&B. Let's see how he entertained them. They promised boo-boo and other entertaining events at the fest. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a ding-dang-ding. Yeah, you need to attend this fest because it's really going to be super classic. And finally, Sierra Leone's Ambassador of Entertainment and Investment, Amara Dennis Touré Jallow, aka Cal Dinero, has been nominated for the Nairobi Entertainment Music Awards 2026 for the Best Hip-Hop Artist category. He battles for the crown with other stars like Ghanaians Sarkodie, Kenyans Calligraph Jones, and South Africans Nasty C, among others. It's a double good news for the rapper Cal Dinero, as the king of Black Cleo, his wife Esther Touré, gave birth to a bouncing baby boy few days ago. Congratulations, Cal Dinero. More wins to all Sierra Leoneans representing the green, white, and blue in different competitions. Well, this is all we have for this edition of Entertainment News. I've been your presenter, Sulaiman Babature. Thanks for watching, and keep watching the SLBC. Bye-bye.
And now to our final segment, the sports update.
Hello there and welcome along to the sporting updates that keeps you in the know, and thank you so much for your time. Now, Kutamono Rangers, otherwise known as KTR, produced an exciting display at the ongoing Central One Football Association Intercommunity League after they dismantled the hopes of New Englandville community with a record-breaking result of 7-0, while the biggest since the competition commenced at the Pirate Ground so far. Let's join Halimami Conte for details.
This was the mood of Crouton Road Rangers supporters as they made their way back to the community from parade ground, singing, dancing, and celebrating a victory that will go down in the history of the competition. Crouton Road Rangers and New Englandville came into the encounter needing a win to keep their hopes of qualifying for the next round alive. But Rangers wasted no time in showing their intent. Just minutes into the game, Talibe broke the deadlock after being set up by Kali Jallo, using his pace before firing across goal to give Rangers the perfect start. The second came from a set piece as a delivery from Mada into the box caused confusion in the New Englandville defense. The ball fell kindly for Ernest Alston, who kept his composure to double Rangers' advantage. New Englandville had no answer as Crouton Road Rangers went into the break 2 goals to the good. After the restart, Crouton Road Rangers returned with even greater intensity, defending compactly and looking dangerous on the counter. Ernest Ailston then struck again, finishing off a clever move to complete his brace before Kali Jallo added the fourth with a powerful strike from inside the 18-yard box. With the floodgates now opened, Malam Bayi produced 2 powerful goals to add the 5th and the 6th, with Kwame Nketiah providing the deliveries for both goals. And there was still time for Ernest Ailston to complete his hat-trick. A delivery from Nketiah caused problems for the New Englandville goalkeeper, who failed to hold on to the ball. Ailston reacted quickest, pouncing on the loose ball to complete his hat-trick and seal the stunning 7-0 victory for Crouton Road Rangers.
We said this can win, imagine, we shall tell about and the fans that see all man glad. And we shall go glad.
The technical team of Crouton Road Rangers said the result was a reflection of a community that rallied behind the team following their opening defeat.
See, we want to work towards and if we play first day, because we say we all lost the first day. So we go to back like the going ball, we also play, we not play the matches there, and that really changes how they feel.
But for New Englandville, the heavy defeat means they are mathematically out of the competition.
The result is encouraging, but not part of football. They're happy any minute, any time. So we don't take that for granted because for a very long time we'll be under out of this competition and then we'll be committed to another competition where they take part.
Crouton Road Rangers have turned an opening day disappointment into a statement victory and sent a warning to the rest of the competition. For SLBC, Alimami Conte reporting.
In the international scene, we flip our attention to the Community Shield in England. Well, Arsenal are the FA Community Shield champions after they defeated Manchester City 3-0. Well, it was a disappointing one for them at the Principality Stadium. Well, a disappointing one for the citizens despite their high hopes and expectations. Well, for Mikel Arteta, he has secured his 3rd title since 2020, 2023, and now 2026. What's an historic achievement for the Arsenal boss, Mikel Arteta? Well, a decent start to the English Premier League as well, because for them, they are firmly on course to ensure that they stick with the winning ways and to upset the bigger teams in the English Premier League. Well, for the Gunners, this is truly a wonderful moment, and for the fans around the world and Sierra Leone as well, they'll continue to celebrate in days and weeks to come the exciting FA Community Shield triumph. What a moment for the Gunners. Congratulations to Arsenal for such a wonderful performance. And that ends your update, and thank you so much for watching. See you next time.
From the sports updates, we end user for tonight and the news main points again. Vice President Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallo has engaged councillors, district chairpersons, mayors and paramount chiefs among others in the southeast region. The move is to chart the way forward in addressing the challenges the 2 regions face and also to get first-hand information on governance, service delivery and security. The Human Resource Management Office has begun a 7-week induction training program for over 700 civil servants drawn from various ministries, departments, and agencies. The training is aimed at equipping newly recruited civil servants with the knowledge and skills required to effectively perform their duties within the public service. And the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources has embarked on an induced breeding of African catfish exercise at the ministry's fish farming station in Bow. The move was a deliberate step by the ministry to revive aquaculture and make fish farming a more reliable livelihood for local farmers. Well, that's all we have time for in this edition of News Hour. Thanks for joining us. My name is Daphne Zainab Kamar. Stay tuned to the SABC. Good night.